Hello friends. Since 1842, one of a Swiss botanist, Carl Nagel, has identified chromosomes in pollen. From that time to till date, that is 2021, cytogenetics has been an important aspect in biology. I hope you have all heard the name of Barbara McClintock. Barbara McClintock was awarded Nobel Prize in 1983 for her landmark discovery about the jumping genes. Sometimes it is also called as a selfish genes. I hope some of you have also know this thing that in 1932 she had published 9 articles on the maize chromosome, that is Z maize, which is talking about the centromeres, the nucleus, and the landmark paper in which she and the graduate student Crichton demonstrated the genetic crossing over take place. It is taught in genetics class that how crossing over taking place. If you are wondering why I am talking all of this, because in today's lecture I will be going to talk about the chromosome banding and specifically about the G banding pattern. So what is the G banding means, or the G staining which is used? The G staining stands for a dye which is called as GIMSA. If you stain a chromosome, it will looks like this, purple in color. This is a karyotype shown for the rhino induced pluripotent stem cells. The GIMSA stain is a nucleic acid stain, and it was named after the German chemist and bacteriologist Gustav GIMSA. It is commercially available and it consists of methylene blue, azure and eosin Y. It is a neutral dye, and you can see that it is a mixture of 3 components, and it is also considered to be a differential dye as well. Like if you stain the human cells and the bacterial cells, they will appear differently, and then one can use to distinguish if there is any kind of infection. Now the component of the GIMSA, the azure and the methylene blue, which are the basic dye, they binds to the nucleus and produce a blue purple color. However, the eosin component, it is a acidic dye, and it's basically stains the cytoplasmic granules. So in this way one can differentiate between different cell types. In part 1 of this lecture, I will focus that how one can stain the blood cell types, and in my part 2 lecture I will be talking about how this stain can be used for chromosome staining. The description which I have shared here, you can visit this description for more details. Now if we talk about the chromosomes banding pattern with the GIMSA dye, then it's preferentially binds to the phosphate groups which is present in the DNA, and specifically for the adenine and thymine bonds. So based on this you will get a different banding pattern, and which, as I said, I will discuss in the part 2 of this lecture. Now the G banding is used to create a karyogram, or also referred as a karyotype, which I showed to you. It can be used to study the translocation, the reciprocal translocation, deletion and duplication, and that's why it finds very important role in the cytogenetics to find out the chromosomal abnormalities. It can also differentiate between the heterochromatin and the euchromatin regions in chromosomes as well. As I said, This is a differential stains. If you stain and can differentiate between any kind of infection, not only bacterial infections but other types of infections can be distinguished using the Giemsa stain. Like for human cells, it will appear as a purple in color, and the bacterial cells, where mostly it will the stain the cytoplasmic portion, that's why it will appear as a pink in color. Now if one has to make a stock solution of Giemsa, then how they can make? As the description here shown, that one can take the 250 ml of methanol and add 3.8 grams of the Giemsa, heat the solutions up to 60 degree, then add 250 ml of glycerin to the solution, but this has to be added gently and slowly. After that it can be filtered, and then it can be stored at room temperature for 1 to 2 months. This stock solution of Giemsa will be a 10x solution. So whenever one has to use, and that's why the Giemsa has to be used for the working solution as a fresh solution. And for this one can take, let's say for example, if someone wants to make a 100 ml of a Giemsa working solution, then from this 10x they can take 10 ml of the stain which is already been prepared, add to this 80 ml of the water, and the rest of the 10 ml one can add the methanol. This will make a working solution of a Giemsa stain. Now if someone wants to stain the blood cell types, then one can do in a very easy method, that take a clean microscopic glass slide, make a thin specimen of your blood and leave it to air dry. Then pure methanol can be used to fix the cell or over the smear. Let it to air dry for 30 seconds, and then one can add the Giemsa stain and allow it to stain for 20 to 30 minutes, and then one can wash the excess stain with the tap water, or can be with the help of a filter paper or a blotting paper, and leave it to dry. Then one can observe the cell types under a compound microscope with 10x and 100x using the immersion oil. So when you will be going to observe this, you will find that the eosinophils will have a blue and purple nucleus and a pale and cytoplasm with orange red granules. The neutrophils will appear purple red nucleus and a pink cytoplasm. Further, the basophils, again the purple and bluish granules. If you go for the lymphocytes, again you will find a dark blue nucleus and a blue cytoplasm, monocytes with a purple nucleus and a pink cytoplasm, and a platelets will have a purple granules. If you are wondering why that this difference in the colors, this difference in colors is based on the pH which is been present. Let me take you back to the slide where, as I mentioned, that if it is a basic as well as a acidic dye, it is a combination of both. So it will, because of the azure and methylene blue, the nucleus will turns or appears as a blue and purple. Let me show you once more. So if it is a basic dye, so it will appear purple, bluish purple in color, but the cytoplasm, because of the eosin content or the eosin which is present in the Giemsa, they will preferentially stain the cytoplasm at pink to red in color. Now if you look these things under a microscope, then you probably will see that the eosinophils has been shown here, the neutrophils will looks like this, the basophils like this, and the monocytes. So you can very easily differentiate between the different cell types using the Giemsa stain. It is a very simple experiment one can do in the within an hour or so, and can able to differentiate the different cell types. If you want to know more about the cell size, then I have already given this in my link. You can go and visit that. If you want to stain with another dye like methylene blue for the cell size, that what is this cell size are and how you can able to stain the nucleus, then you can visit and see my other video. With this I will stop here, and please watch the part 2 of this lecture, where I have talked about the chromosomal, that how we can able to prepare the chromosome in the laboratory setup, and how we can use this Giemsa and able to see under a microscope and how it looks like. If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.